Hey everybody, welcome to today's practice. My name is Brentan and today we're going to do a 30-minute full body flow for strength, mobility, stability, the best. So when you're ready, let's go ahead and get started in tabletop position. And of course, if bearing weight on your hands or, bearing weight on your knees is not the best for you, pick a different position to just sort of move around in. Because we'll just kind of all get started on our own today, just kind of moving around however feels like the right thing to do. And this might mean like circling out with your shoulders and kind of varying the different loads in the wrists. It might mean moving through the spine a little bit, some cat-cows. Even moving the spine in other directions as well. We know that it can laterally flex. You could do that by sassing the hips over one way, looking over that shoulder, doing it the other way as well. You might even say wow, I want to feel my hip joints a little bit. And you can kind of cruise around in the hip joint, circling around every which way. You could even be on the fingertips and move around a little bit there, trying to build a little bit of strength through the hands. Lots of options. So when you're ready, if it's okay for you to tuck the toes under and sit back on the heels, that's what I'll suggest, but you can also come up to a seat on the couch or something like that. If your toes are tucked under, why don't you go ahead and clip the pinky under as well so that the outer edge of the foot can get as long as the inner lining. You can max out at any point here and just do something different with the feet. We want to see pelvis, high pelvis. Can I roll you forward, backward? Can I find more of like a neutral position here? Same thing for my ribs. Same thing for the head, drawing up and back. So now I feel my spine in its natural kind of snaky curvature. And it's here we can just sort of work through the wrists. So if we take the forearms in front of us, we can look down at the forearms. We want these forearm bones to be facing up towards the sky the whole time. So from here we see, can I flex through the wrists, keeping the forearms frozen? And can I extend? And I'm calling it the opposite of what I'm doing. So extension is when the hand goes up, and notice, look down at your forearms. See, are they trying to sort of buckle in, out? If it's really hard for you to pay attention to both of your arms, maybe do one at a time, pause the video, go back, do the other one. Because this is good stuff to really train the stability of the wrists, its active range of motion, so that 90 degrees here, we feel a little bit more confident about then taking the weight back forward onto hands and knees, where we might untuck the toes, kind of pat out the feet a little bit. Find a position where we can still be on all fours. That position might even be hands more forward is gonna be less load in your wrists if you're feeling like your wrists need a little bit of a break. But we're gonna see now, can I work with my hips? So working in the hips means working in the ball and socket joint where the pelvis and thigh bone come together. That means we need to hold one of those pieces still. What we're gonna try to hold still right now is the pelvis. So kind of feel your pelvis, feel your ribs, feel your spine, and then see, can I set that in neutral, whatever I know to be neutral, and then we'll lift the right heel off the ground, the knee can stay down. And I'm actually gonna bump the knee back just a little bit there because that's what feels better. But I wanna see, did that move my pelvis? So we can just kind of like a hammer go up and down there for a moment. Trying not to move the pelvis. And now when you pull the heel up, we're gonna see, can I rotate the leg? So keeping the knee down on the ground, it's just gonna kind of pivot around that. And we're gonna rotate the leg kind of like we're windshield wipering. And it's not gonna feel like much unless we're able to really commit to holding that pelvis still, in which case it'll just feel like these really subtle little independencies are happening for the muscles in and around the hip capsule. So lowering that leg down, we can do the other side, lifting the left heel to the bottom there. We can go up and down a few times there and notice Does my pelvis want to scoop under at any point? You know, all of that kind of stuff. Then lifting the heel, can I swivel the knee? And lots of movements want to be happening in the pelvis. So this is also asking us like, hey, do I understand the difference right now between my thigh bone and my pelvis? Okay, go ahead, taking that down, tuck the toes under, hover the knees, press the hips up and back, our first downward facing dog. And I know we've been on the hands for a bit now, so just kind of move around any way that feels good right out of the gate. And then one at a time, we can push off the hands and walk them all the way back to the feet at the back of the mat. From there, we can just sort of take our first forward fold. If the floor seems really far away, feel free to perch yourself on up onto your legs like so. Just try to breathe nice and easy through the nose. I always like to relax the neck like totally and completely here. See, can we get super strong and heavy in the feet? Can we slow motion roll the spine all the way on up? From there, maybe we reach the arms out and up to the sky. We can bring the arms down. So seeing here, neutral pelvis, neutral ribs, neutral spine. We're gonna take the right foot right in front of the left foot for a little tightrope position. If you already feel sort of topsy-turvy or super off balance, you can widen the stance a little bit. And it's here that we're just gonna let our feet get used to this as we move through the shoulders a little bit. So we want neutral pelvis, neutral ribs, neutral spine, so that now we know that when we move the arms, we're just moving the shoulders and not anything else. So we're gonna see, can I start to lift my arms forward and up nice and slowly? It's gonna get really hard at about the halfway, and see like if it's pulling on your neck, you know you involved something, right? So it's like, take a lot of pauses, see if you can get really straight through the arms. And as you start to take them all the way up, we just kind of see like, what will my body give me right now? Now, once you kind of make it up here, we're gonna see, can I bend one elbow and bring that hand behind without moving my neck, without moving my ribs, my spine, and bring the arm back up? Same thing for the other side. It's a question, and that question might be answered with a small range of movement. It might be answered with just holding the arms where they are. If you did that, maybe see if you got one more on each side. The more you can really commit to keeping everything else out of the movement, the more you're ensuring that it's the muscles in the shoulder structure that are doing the work, and that's what we want. Bring the arms down. We can take the hands to the waist. We can see a little coordinated movement. Can we tip the weight into the front of the feet and lift both heels all the way up together? And can we drop them down together, maybe even touching the floor together? One more time. And now we're gonna coordinate in a rolling fashion. So can I lift my right one first? Even the hip lifts with it. Then the left one, the left hip lifts with it. The right circles down, and then the left circles down. So see if you can just kind of intuitively get that. Right, left, right, left. Both feet grounding. We can see, can I take the left foot right in front of the right foot? So we're in the tightrope position. We're gonna let the feet sort of acclimate to this while we work on with the shoulders. So we get the pelvis in neutral, the ribs in neutral, the head in neutral. And now the question is, can I abduct my shoulders, bringing them out to the side, you know, without leaning back or any of this kind of stuff, right? So I'm trying to target specific muscle groups. And then can I bring the arms back in? And out to the side, and back in. And really work on holding your torso out of the movement. And it might force different work in the arms. Okay, hands onto the waist. We see coordinated movement. Can I tip the weight forward into the front of the feet, lift both heels together, and down. touching down together. Is that possible? Ooh, not for me. Okay, up together and down. Now we'll roll, starting with the left heel and hip, the right heel and hip, the left heel and hip down, the right heel and hip down. Got it? So let's roll left, right, left, right. Let's keep moving forward. Bring the right foot in front of the left foot. Let the legs acclimate. We're gonna have the pelvis in neutral, the ribs in neutral, the spine in neutral. Arms down by the side, palms facing back. And the question here is shoulder extension. As the palms lift up, the arms lift up behind us into an imaginary resistance. Don't let it pull on your neck. Don't let it pull your rib cage into a different position. So your chest stays nice and open here. All right, so we have some questions. The question is, do I work here? The question is, do I bend my right elbow and bring the right hand towards the left side of the pelvis? And then do I straighten that arm? So we got it, the left arm, we would bend and bring the hand just wherever it goes without trying to like do anything weird with this left shoulder. So it's like the shoulders are trying to kind of be staying in place. Do it one more time on each side. And we want to do it without pulling on the neck or pulling on the ribs. Okay, from here, we can release the hands. They can go back down onto the hips. Let's see, can we lift onto the tiptoes and hold? And now let's expose the feet and ankles to as many ranges of motion as possible. So roll and roll to the inside and outside. So we're just gonna kind of vary it up. We're gonna see what our body will give us. If you're losing balance, grab onto something like a countertop. You can move over there. You can do this on a more carpeted surface that might feel better. Okay, taking that down, let's go ahead, step the left foot in front, tightrope position. Okay, it's our last one here. All right, the question is, can we get our pelvis in neutral, our ribs, our spine, all of that good stuff? We'll see if we can take now the arms in front of us, kind of like zombie arms. Can we have them be kind of snug in their sockets? Lift up through the chest. Is everything still in neutral? In other words, we don't want our arms like perched on us like this, right? We want everything to be sort of self-involved. Now from here, we can do a little bit more dynamic movement with the upper body as we reach the left arm up by the ear, and we'll open it behind as we twist. And then as the arm circles back down, it's just gonna go in a big circle. So we'll turn the chest back forward as it moves forward by the right arm. So let's see if we can do 2 more of those. Lifting the left arm as it goes back, we open. And maybe 1 more. And 1 more, 3 on the right. So we lift the right arm. As it circles back, we move the torso with it. As it circles down and forward, the torso circles forward. We got it? Let the arm spin in the socket the way that it kind of it'll kind of self-correct there. And bringing the arm forward and arms down by the side. Arms on the pelvis. We can lift up onto tippy toes. It's our last one. We can rock in and out on the feet, on the sweet little feet. As you feel ready, heels down, walking to the front of the mat now. See how we did that? Feet on the ground. We can reach the arms wide and high. Half sun A as we exhale, forward fold over the legs. On the inhale, lengthen forward out from the pelvis. On the exhale, fold. Grounding through the feet, coming all the way up to stand your favorite way, reaching out and up with the arms. Feel your shoulders now after we did all that work. And then hands down. Let's work a little bit more with the legs now. So we worked the staggered position. Let's amplify it. Let's do a lunge, right foot forward, left foot back, any amount. I'm gonna sail the heel lifted just so the bones can point forward for the sake of simplicity here. I want my pelvis evenly set between the legs and between the armpits. If you can see yourself in a window or a mirror, then you can like actually get that measurement visually. Otherwise, you'll just kind of have to feel it. Now I want my pelvis upright here, but the only way for me to do that is to kind of swing the back leg down and forward so the thigh goes more vertical under me. And as soon as I do that, I feel more sensation in the front of the left leg. See if that's true for you. Front pelvis in so that now the pelvis is upright. I try to get as upright as I can out of that. And now we see, can we reach the arms? Okay, so here's the question here. Can my legs be strong bases of support for me as we kind of go up and down a couple of inches? Can they be strong bases of support, kind of keeping my pelvis as upright as possible? And then taking the arms down, I want to see, can I feel like I'm kind of blown up and back over the pelvis as I bring my back foot forward? We can change our sides. So your first couple of moments in the lunge are just to kind of gather yourself. Be challenged but not overwhelmed. We're going to teach the legs how to be in their lunge. So maybe getting your pelvis evenly set. You can have your hands on your pelvis. You can have your arms lifted. It's your choice. And then you decide up and down. And it can be any amount. Like you could even touch the floor with that back leg if you were so inclined, if that's sort of, you know, where the whole thing was calling you towards. Arms down, we want to see, can I feel myself kind of blown up and back, lifting over the pelvis as I bring my back foot forward. And we go one more time on the right, stepping the left foot back, gathering ourselves here. So now the legs have been introduced. They feel a little bit warmer, they know their job a little bit more. So get them to do their job into the pelvis. And now you can hold or you can add layers of instability to this to kind of challenge the stability of the legs. So the goal is legs super strong, being able to withstand like hurricanes of movement around them. Your torso is going to be the hurricane. So now moving through the torso, you can move through the arms too. And this can be like organized movement, you know, like where you go like airplane arms forward and back. It can be sort of like chaotic swirling movement. And just try to have your legs be nice and supportive of the entire chain of motion. We're probably getting there. Let's go ahead, lift ourselves back to center and try it on the other side. So left leg can stay forward, right leg can stay back and move back. We find ourselves nice and lifted over the pelvis. We spend any amount of time working on those foundational elements. So all of those still happen. And then you can decide to sort of introduce those layers of instability. And you decide, because we just want this to be a time to explore, but also kind of feel and try to feel specifically, like, can I not just feel, but can I understand what's going on? Can I understand like when my pelvis might want to move? Keep moving around. You know, you can twist, you can extend your spine, you can flex your spine forward. Your arms can do all kinds of things. And as you feel ready, coming all the way up, maybe you bring that back foot forward. Just kind of feel yourself out here. Bringing the arms all the way up to the sky, taking the arms down in front of the chest. And from here, we're gonna see chair pose. Set your feet any way you like. Chair pose, kind of bouncing up and down a little bit. And from the bounce, we're gonna see slow motion. Can we come all the way down, bottom to the heels? From that position, we can come down to our bottoms. Balancing there, we can take the feet off the ground, kind of stretch and curl into the toes. Let's get ourselves into a little boat pose action here. So we want our hips to be nice and flexed. That's when the thighs and the belly are close together. We want low back not to be flexed. Flexed would be like this. So if you find your low back is flexed, it's gonna feel like crap, first of all. So the way to get out of that is either you have the ability, you're just not employing it because it's not the easiest thing to do, or you don't have the ability and so you go back and you let the pelvis angle back with you, but you're still neutral with how you go out through the head, right? So you decide what you're using, hands back, hands forward. You can decide this is enough, or you can decide to lift. Once you lift, get forward on the sitting bone so you're not sitting back in the tailbone. Get back into your hip flexion if you lost it. And try to breathe nice and easy in the face. You decide where we're going from here. So you can stay like this, or you can be a little bit more dynamic, and you can do this with hands in any arrangement. So to be like this, you know what to do. To move, you also potentially know what to do, just out and up. Maybe 5. The next time you come out, coming all the way out, let's go ahead, release your legs all the way down to the floor. You can sort of shake out there. Feel your sweet little hippies. Let's go ahead, step the feet close into the pelvis. You can pick it up so that you can reset your pelvis. Pelvis should feel pretty neutral, evenly set to your armpits. And then from here, we can figure for the right foot over the left knee. So it's sort of like that reclined half pigeon starter pose. But where we'll go from here is arms down by the side, press down through the left foot, and see if you can lift your hips any amount towards a bridge pose. You want to lift your hips evenly. You don't want to let one side kind of sag. That right side might want to sag. So you try to lift them evenly. You try to get a posterior tilt so your tailbone feels like it's rolling up towards the backs of the knees. And then hopefully you should feel like you're strengthening and like the low back feels okay. So coming all the way down, we'll just go up and down like this. And so if the one-legged situation doesn't feel like the right call for you today, just take your leg down and do, a standard two-legged variation. Maybe you hold on that last one, feeling your frontal hip bones sort of magnetize toward each other. And as you feel ready, releasing that, you can go ahead, release that right leg down to the side. We can figure for the left leg over the right knee. Kind of same thing here. So we lift both sides of the pelvis up. We hold just on that first one just so we can feel it a little bit. And then we move dynamically up and down. If you want to hold on this last one, you can. And we can release everything down to the ground. We can sort of windshield wiper the knees a little bit, left, right, left, right. And from here, we can actually turn onto the left side. We can support ourselves with our left arm, so we're kind of like in a little fetal position. And it's from here, kind of just feel your like your pelvis, your spine, your ribs, how that's all set. Just make sure that you're feeling more or less good with it. And then we can take the right hand behind the head with the elbow open. So from here, we can just lean the head back into the hand and open the chest for a little twist. I'm gonna let my head just like rest on the ground here. So the head will just kind of move where it moves, and I'll just be here to support it with whatever arm or hand I have. So opening the chest here, you can stay or you can move again, sort of curling yourself back to that little fetal position, and then opening yourself back up. Maybe moving a couple more times. I actually don't like my head on a pillow here. So you gotta kind of explore and experiment. Maybe holding on this last one. As you feel ready, coming back through center, we can do the other side. So if we just roll onto the right side, supported fetal, taking the left hand behind the head there with the elbow lifting, and we can start to open the chest to the left. Maybe just hold there for a moment. You'll figure out how you want to move as we start moving now, rolling in and open. Maybe on this next one, if it feels good for you to open and stay and hold into the twist, you can do that. And as you feel ready to come back to center, come all the way back to center. You can set up to rest. Any resting position that feels good to you. Maybe legs out, arms out. Maybe soles of the feet on the ground, or legs kind of flopped up onto a couch cushion or an ottoman. This is our time to really input information to our nervous system that we're safe, because we know that the nervous system is the queen of the whole thing. The nervous system is in charge of all of our movement, all of our thinking, our feeling, our behaving, absolutely everything. And once we understand how to speak that language a little bit, I think things will start to go our way a little bit more often. And so the language of the nervous system is, am I safe? What's something simple that you could do right now that would help communicate that point to your nervous system? What's something simple in the way you're breathing, in the way you're holding your hands and your feet, in the way the muscles on your face are sitting? Only when our nervous system feels safe will we get the gains that we're looking for, the strength gains, the mobility gains, the stability gains. And so this really helps like position everything that we just did in a really good context, and kind of helps make us feel like looking forward to coming back and doing some more. So this is where I'll leave you today. Before I hop off, I do just want to thank all of our awesome patrons. I don't have you all off the top of my head, but Becky, Molly, Nancy, Mariana, thank you guys so much. And if you want to become one of our patrons and donate to our work, then I will leave a link in the description below. So thank you so much. I hope you have a wonderful day. See you here next time.